All right, things were a little different today. So, yeah, I think the picture looks better. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but yeah, StreamYard is changing some stuff. Hi, Kat. Hi, Terry. So, yeah, it was just a little different, but it looks good to me. So I'm going with it. Ah, those damn ads at Dee Dee's this morning were driving me crazy. Oh my gosh. Were you getting a ton of them? I mean, like in the first 20 minutes, maybe, I had four. And I started marking them and then I just went, this is baloney. Hi, Joyce. Hi, CB. But yeah, you're making me a little crazy. I did talk to Dee Dee about it and she's gonna see what she can do to fix it. But yeah, it was very distracting. Hi, Joanne. So, hi, Keeks. Okay, people are coming in, so that's a good thing. Hi, Starla. You go get in the wings right now. You got a million of them? Okay, see, I did too, Kat, and I was just like, oh my gosh, it was so distracting. I couldn't, I was, yeah, distracted. Not to mention the normal distractions around here, which are constant. But yeah, that's just my life now. So you got a ton too, very distracting. Okay, yeah. And I did talk to Dee Dee about it, so she's going to see what she can do. Hi, Dee Dee, by the way. Because, yeah, that was insane this morning. It was really insane. And then I was watching the numbers of people, and there were about half the normal people there. So I don't know. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but yeah. So today I'm going to try and do some Pantone cards, and I got my old ones out, and I didn't get the pencils out. So you're going to have to um, put up with me digging for pencils, which I try and do some of that ahead of time, but I didn't today because I don't know why. I just didn't. Oh, are you kidding, Dee Dee? I would, no matter how distracting it was, I would sit here and cuss quietly to myself while I still supported you. And I'm pretty sure that all the fibs are the same way. I didn't blame you at all. I mean, I just thought, oh man, something is way haywire today. I did not blame you at all. I always blame YouTube for everything because if something crappy is happening, it's it's YouTube. Yeah. Like now we have wrenches back. What happened to our shields? See, like the other day we all had shields. Today we have wrenches. Geesh, Dee Dee, you want special treatment? Hi, Jeannie. Yeah, Dee Dee, don't take it personal at all. Not even for a second. But you still have a shield? On my end, it shows as a wrench. Huh. Yeah, I don't think you have. Okay, you still have a shield. Okay. On my Ustream chat, it's still a wrench. But Ustream chat does not look anything like YouTube chat. So, all right. Well, there you go. Hi, Christina. Hi, Missy. You've got a shield on yours. Okay. You all have shields. I don't have a shield. So maybe they're punishing me. Maybe I don't get a shield. I only get a wrench. But if I have to have anything, I'd rather have the wrench because it's a weapon. The shield is only defensive. I can only block your wrench, right? You got to look at things, find the silver lining. So I'm just giving people a few minutes to kind of get in here before I start messing around. Hi, Laverne. Um, and I did get out the Inktober's. I don't know how many of you want to see. I had forgotten how many years I had done Inktober. This year will be my 10th year of Inktober. Hi, Carol. Hi, View. So that seems crazy to me that I've done 10 years of Inktober. What are you going to do? My give a damn is broken. So, and oddly enough, right before I went on stream today, you have a crown. Of course you're special, Joanne. Are you kidding? I don't know. They changed so much over at YouTube. That's why I blame YouTube for everything. I don't blame Dee Dee. I don't blame you. I don't blame me. It's all YouTube. So, anyway, right before I went live, um, Amazon came. I love Amazon. I really do. Hi, Bossy. Um, I got a delivery over the weekend. I had ordered, I think I whined to Dee Dee about it, that for, I don't even know, as long as I can remember, I've had this real small canister vacuum that I've done the stairs with and the cars and all that stuff. And I ran out of bags for it, so I went to order bags, and they were on back order, couldn't get them. And then they finally just wrote me and said they're no longer available. So I'm like, oh man, I have this great little vacuum and no way to suck up, contain the dirt. So I went shopping, and I ordered this cute little handheld vacuum that has you don't buy bags for it. It's got a HEPA filter, and but it's real cute, and it's handheld, and it came yesterday. And you charge it, it's battery, you charge it with like a USB. So the charging cord was goofed up and it wouldn't charge. But I found another cord. I went ahead and charged it up. I thought, oh, I can make this work. But then when I went to turn it on, it wouldn't turn on. It was like, oh man, I looked so forward to getting this damn thing and it's broken. So I got on and did a return. Right before I went on live stream, they delivered a new vacuum to me. Can you believe that? Hi, Belinda. I couldn't get it that fast at Walmart. I'm not kidding you. So yeah, now I've got it charging right now, and the cord on this one is fine, and I won't mess with it until it's fully charged. So keep your fingers crossed that my awesome little vacuum is going to work. Because if it doesn't, then I have to go shopping for a vacuum, and that's the worst thing in the world anybody has to do. And the stupid thing is, I have I have a robot vacuum. You'd think I'm obsessed with this. And then I have a really nice, I can't think of the name brand, but it was a really pricey one. And it has an attachment that you can take off. So you have a handheld one, but it's electric. So it was always a pain in the butt for the stairs and, of course, the car and everything like that. And I thought, this is not going to work. So now I have 15 vacuums around here, and Robert's going to be busy. That's all I got to say. But I also ordered from Amazon. What else? I ordered a portable leaf blower, but I haven't tried it yet. And then I ordered Snarky Quotes adult coloring book, and I have not even looked at this. I am adulting. And the only reason I'm adulting is because it literally happened 5 minutes ago. And I hope I haven't missed anybody coming in. Anyway, so let's look through it. Because I like doing these snarky coloring book pages. I don't like coloring as a rule, but you want a cordless vacuum that you don't need to hold the trigger down. This one, I don't think I have to hold the trigger, Devin. It's got 3 speed settings, and press it once and it's low, press it twice, it's medium, press it third time, it's really high suction. And I did check all the suction information, and it looks like it's going to be as good as that one that I've had forever, which was like a mini mite or something like that. But that thing lasted forever. I cannot complain about that. Nope means nope, except when it comes to cupcakes. I'm allergic to mornings. And of course, you can't see these, so I do make exceptions for snark. Nope vibes only. So you'll be seeing these as openers. Spoiler alert, I don't care. I'm on my last nerve. I was on my last nerve this morning. Nope, still don't care. I'm busy doing nothing. What brand is it, Janet? Send me your review on it later. I will. And it was relatively cheap. I was surprised at how inexpensive it was. But I was more amazed that Amazon got me my new one like at noon today. Introvert with attitude. That needs to go to Carrie. My inner child needs a nap. Look at the sloppy. Oh, you guys can't see. Sorry. My bad, my bad. Look at the little baby sloth. I have lots of vacuums and still a house full of dog hair. Do I have to use those dang machines? Yeah, you have to use those dang machines, CD. And I did run Bob this weekend, and I was kind of wondering about how it would handle the cat hair. It does fine. Because usually when it's just Robert and I don't have to empty it all the time. But yesterday when I ran it, I thought, oh man, it's been a while. I better check that. It's doing fine with Jimmy hair. So I don't rise and shine. I caffeinate and hope. No lie. I don't do mornings. Sarcasm is my love language. I don't like the skulls on that though. Zero Motivation Club. Messy bun done with everyone. Thanks, Cat. Socially selective. Out of patience, out of coffee. I'll get to it eventually. I like that they have sloths in here. It's too hot to clean. Joanne, you're in Canada. I thought you guys were still getting snow. Current mood? Nope. I like that one. Not today, people. Meh. Exhausted, but still fabulous. Don't test me. Sometimes I say that to Jimmy. Oh, and I'll tell you the funny Jimmy story after I show this. I'm funny. I'm fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. And when I say that, you know, everything's just chaotic. Sarcastic, but sweet. Fueled by caffeine and sarcasm. I'm not a morning person. I think everybody pretty much knows that. Brains loading. Please wait. Oh, God, you guys, we had a scare this morning. Cat didn't have internet before Dee Dee. Oh, I was freaking out. I was thinking, well, that's okay. Fibs will live like caveman. I don't care. Nope, still don't care. I'm judging you silently. I know, bossy. Too glam to give a damn. Well, that's not true of me, but the glam I don't care about. And I can't believe Tina ordered magnetic eyelashes. Who the hell is she trying to impress? No, having heat wave between 30 to 35 degrees Celsius. Oh, really? And your AC's broken. Oh, my God. I wish I could send grandson up there. Chaos coordinator. Sarcasm, my superpower. I run on caffeine and sarcasm. That's the second one of that one, isn't it? Sassy since birth. Awkward but fabulous. I'm sorry, did I roll my eyes out loud? Not my circus, not my monkeys. Why didn't they put monkeys on here? What's with the skulls? I don't like skulls. Please cancel my subscription to your issues. Over it. My give a damn is broken. I'm not bossy. I'm the boss. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Devin, did you figure out how to get those pictures to hang on the wall? Because you may be getting another one. I can't adult today. I'd hardly adult at all. Let me overthink this. Nope, not today. I did adult this weekend, though. Figure out how to get them to stick so I can send them to you. Brains loading. Please wait. Too tired to care. Oh, I love the little sloths. Well, that one, I mean, and you guys, these books are so cheap. It's ridiculous. So, they're so cheap. I ordered two. I bet you can turn those skulls into monkeys. I have stickers, Starla. Oh, now see, I don't like when they do the black. I'm only here for the snacks. Take a hike, kindly. Too cute to care. It's me, not we. Hard no. Some of these are hard. Don't worry, I'll ghost you too. Pretty but petty but pretty. This is my resting color face. These are a little weirder. Zero hugs given. Please leave by 9 p.m. By 9 p.m., you're leaving and I'm already in bed. I have an idea in my wish list. I will have to press buy. Peace, love, and personal space. Exhale the bull crap. Born to be mild. Protecting my peace. Just breathe, then rage later. Calm is my superpower. Let that crap go. Don't rush my zen. Inner Peace, Loading. Now, whoever did these color books, I'd like them to go to graphic arts school and learn that if your design distracts from your ability to read it, your design sucks. Namaste the hell away. That one I like. I contribute in silence. Just here for the Wi-Fi. You're on mute. Stay there. I like that one. Coffee first, people never. My brain has left the chat. This could have been This could have been a text. I say that a lot. Why didn't you just text me? No tasks, just vibes. I work best alone. Let me circle back, never. Running on airplane mode. Still, but spicy. Hi, Sharon. I'm on my way. Just kidding. Cancel plans, not dreams. Nope, not today. Don't ask, don't care. I came, I saw, I left early. It's a no from me. That's for every invitation ever. I literally can't. Stay home club. That would be me. Live, laugh, leave me alone. Yeah, so for 2 little cheap color books, I'll be having hours of enjoyment and using my cool stuff. And the other thing I got in that package was, and I haven't opened it yet, but I know what it is, I'm pretty sure. So I should have nothing out for delivery now. It's time to order again. Yeah. 3 white little Poscas because my other one started leaking. And that was odd because I hardly ever have a problem with Posca, but my last one did leak. And then this one's really funny. This was like a total impulse, but look at these animals. Can you imagine the things coming out of their mouth? Look at that. So, yeah, I'll be using these. Hey, have a nice day. Thank you. So they're very cute. And these acrylic stamps from China, they're crap. They're really crap, but they're cute. And if they last a little while, I'm good with that. And then the other thing, I did use my, last week, I think I showed you guys my new Beast stamps, and I did use them. I was going back and forth. Oh, do I change mid-year? Do I change mid-year? And I thought, nobody's ever going to look at that book. Who cares? And so I used them, and I was really proud of myself and happy. So let me tell you about Jimmy. This cat. Honest to God, you guys, I love him so much. It's not even funny. But Saturday, I think it was Saturday, I walked out in the breezeway where he hangs out most of the time. He loves it out there. Only it's getting really hot, and my screen doors won't be here until, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks, I think. But anyway, he was intently watching something on the floor. So I walked around and got in front of him, and there was a lizard tail just flipping around, just all over the place. And he was just staring at it. And I was just like, oh, man. Oh, you disgusting little pig. You ate a lizard. And so I went and got a paper towel, picked up the lizard tail, and threw it out in the backyard. But then the rest of the day, Jimmy was on hunt mode. I mean, he was hunkered down. He was hunting everywhere. He was in every nook and cranny in that breezeway and the utility room. I guess, and I just felt like, oh, he's thinking that we have an influx of lizards and he's just going to be able to hunt all the time now. Now, in all the 30 years I've lived here, I think I've seen 2 lizards in that breezeway. Now, that doesn't mean there weren't more when I wasn't watching, but I have not seen a lot of lizards in there. Usually they're sunning out on the patio. But he hunted all day long. And I thought, he's going to be so disappointed. And normally he goes out there and finds a sun puddle and takes a long nap. No nap. And I thought, well, he'll sleep good tonight. That's a good thing. And then I went out later, and Robert was sitting out there with him. Went out later, and here he comes. And and I had talked to Dee Dee in the meantime, and she said, oh, he's probably going to vomit. He probably will puke it up. It's like, oh, good, something to look forward to. Went out later. He did not kill the lizard. He did not eat the lizard. The lizard must have gotten away, because now there is a tailless lizard, and he was like this big without a tail. So he would have been about this big without a tail, or with his tail. And he was pawing at it and moving it, and he was just having the best time. I was just like, I cannot believe I'm dealing with this. Yeah, he likes the sun puddles, Devin. Hi, Joe Lou. So, and then I told Robert, I said, go get a paper towel and get rid of the lizard. I'm not kidding. So, yeah. Robert just threw it out in the backyard. And I thought, you know what? We should have killed that before we put it out there, because chances are very good the lizard was not going to live, and we could have put it out of its misery. But I was just like, you disgusting little pig. If you think you're going to come here and kill stuff and then leave it flopping around in my house, you're wrong. You're not going to do that. We need to have a training session around here. Either eat the lizard, which is fine, and puke it up later, or just don't mess with the damn lizard. Leave him alone. So, hi, Kathy Berg. So that's the lizard story. I did find the rest of the lizard, Dee Dee, and it wasn't in a pile of puke. I don't know, Devin. I think there are some that can, but I think he had damaged this lizard to the point that there was going to be no more regrowth. And I'm sure the lizard dropped out of school. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. So, yeah. Hi, Ruth. Ruth, I was just thinking about you yesterday, I think. I thought, man, I haven't seen Ruth around in a long, long time. So I'm glad you popped up. And then I'll quickly show, Kat, tell me which of the Inktobers you wanted to see. This morning at Dee Dee's, she showed, Denise's Scabby book. And this year the scavenger hunt theme was candy. And so I had made Denise a complete copy, and I started out doing the candy black and white because I just thought that's what I should do. Okay, I can do the cartoons, but anyway, I ended up switching over and doing them in color at some point. I think it was with Raisinets. Yeah, it was Raisinets, when you have to put the Raisinets in red. And I thought, you know what, I'm blowing this off. I'm going to go ahead and just do them in color. So this is all the candy art that I sent to Denise for the Scabby this year. And they were fun. I don't know what I'm doing for Inktober this year. Here's the Pez. I like the lettering on this. I've tried to choose, hi Asa. I've tried to choose stuff where I get challenged by the lettering itself. And that was why I did the excuse me, the seed packets, because they have such interesting lettering. So it's not just the drawing whatever it is. I like the lettering, and that's why I started doing picking the topics I picked, because candy has interesting lettering. So that's what that was, and that was from 2018. I started in 2016. And I did toys. Yeah, and some of them had lettering, some of them did not. So 2016 was toys. 2017 was what? Was this 2017? Yeah, was the cartoons. And I did cartoons for 2 years. Your internet's been down, been going through internet. Oh man, Ruth, that's a pain in the butt. I didn't have power on Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. It started flickering and then it went off, and I called the power company. They were out here. It was just me and the neighbor next door, and they were out here within an hour and had it fixed. So they're kind of like Amazon. Or maybe it's just when I speak, people listen. You think that, Bossy? Maybe when I bitch, people listen. Anyway, let me flip through these. And I really like the cartoon ones because their lettering was always really interesting. So I don't know what I'm going to do for Inktober this year. I feel like that's not focusing, so focus, you freak. Come on. You going to focus? Oh, is it time for a new camera? That's better. Hi, Momo. Thank you. That's so nice of you to say. There's Popeye and a Boo. Elmer Fudd, Dennis the Menace. And then I did write on the edge when they originated, like Dennis the Menace was 1951 by Hank Ketchum. Betty Boop. Betty Boop was one of my mother's absolute favorites. I have tons and tons of Betty Boop stamps. If she saw a Betty Boop rubber stamp, she bought it, and I inherited it. Pogo, a lot of you probably won't even remember him. He's from 1948. Betty Boop was 1930. Speedy Gonzales. Tinkerbell. Petunia and Porky, that's 1935. Fritz Freeling. Mr. Magoo. I like Mr. Magoo. He's blind. Rocky and Bullwinkle. Roadrunner. These are fun. I forget to look at them. Pinocchio. Nancy. Nancy was one of my absolute favorites. That's from 1938, believe it or not. Yogi Bear, that was 1958. Richie Rich, 1953, about my age. Curious George, Chippendale. And a lot of them I don't have the person who drew it because they worked for Walt Disney or somebody. Archie was my all-time favorite. I loved Archie. Little Dot I liked. I liked Richie Rich, Tom and Jerry, Huckleberry Hound. I'm old. I remember all of them. I do too, Momo. Henry. Henry was, I don't know if he was that popular, but I liked Henry. Pepe Le Pew. I have a funny story about Pepe Le Pew. I had it not about Pepe Le Pew, but my boss's name for part of the time that I worked at Ross Martin was, his last name was Pugh, but it was spelled P-U-G-H, but it was pronounced Pew. And one time, him and his wife had come to Denver for something. I don't know. He was in Tulsa, but they had come to Denver for something. And Jim and I took them to dinner at a restaurant in Boulder that my son worked at. And so I introduced him to my son, and his name was Owen. And I said, this is my boss, Owen LePew. And when Jamie brought his drinks back, he said something about, let me know if it. Okay, am I back? Let me turn my lights on. All I did was move the cord and it disconnected. I think that USB port is about ready to crap out. Okay. Hi, Lucretia. Going through withdrawal again. All right. Did I come back? I look okay on my end, but I must have goofed up the camera a little bit. Okay, I'm back. All right. So anyway, when Jamie brought my boss his drink, he said, "Here you go, Pepe," or something like that. And Owen looked at me and said, "You call me Pepe Le Pew, don't you?" I said, "Yeah, I do." Hi, Rainbow. So yeah, Pepe Le Pew, my boss, Owen. He was a good guy. He laughed. He thought it was funny. Did I say hi, Rainbow? Pink Panther, Hot Stuff, Casper, The Jetsons, Inktober 2012. Okay, this I did cartoons 2 years. I did it 2017 and 2020. So there's 2 years in this book. Jughead, he's from the Archie books. Winnie the Pooh. Scooby-Doo. Felix the Cat. Flintstones. Cat in the Hat. Magilla Gorilla. I like Magilla Gorilla. And I won't even tell that one because that's, yeah. Chili Willy. Calvin and Hobbes. Of all the ones that I've said that I love the most, actually, Calvin and Hobbes is my all-time absolute favorite cartoon of all times. I love Calvin and Hobbes, and I have all his books and everything. And I was so disappointed when he quit drawing. Mickey and Minnie, Wally Gator, The Simpsons. I like The Simpsons too. Gazoo, Yosemite Sam, Augie Doggy, Donald Duck, Little Lulu and Tubby, Snagglepuss, Foghorn Leghorn, Yacky Doodle. Yacky Doodle's cute. What were they called? Heckle and Jekyll? I don't remember. I think it's Heckle and Jekyll. Quick Draw McGraw, Marvin the Martian, Alvin and the Chipmunks, Tasmanian Devil, Top Cat, and Captain Caveman. So, yeah, I have all the Calvin and Hobbes books. I love them. I couldn't believe when he quit. I guess he got his money and just went out to live the good life. So, yeah. And then the other one that I did for 2 years was Butts on Things. So, but I would like to, I think, I'm not going to show all of them. I think I would like to, what was that? This is 2024. I guess I did a year in between because this one I did all Zentangle. So I would do Zentangle again, but I think I'd like to, I've always done them the same size or about the same size. I think I'd like to bind those all in one book. Thanks, Bossy Butt. But yeah, whoever in chat had asked if I'd drawn those, yeah, I do participate in Inktober every year. I think, oh, I'm not gonna, but then I do, and then years later I show them, and I'm happy with myself that I actually did them. So there's that. And then the other thing was the other week when I did remember those ink drops that I was doing, where I was dropping the ink in water. They're still just sitting here. I haven't done anything with them, but I thought, you know what? I don't think I ever showed you guys the end result of those. So where are they? If I can find them quickly. Okay, here we go. This one I did draw on. Obviously, it didn't come out that way, but these are how they came out. And this was on the B paper. I like the way this one came out at the end. And see, this is the one that I put gold in. You can kind of see the gold flickers in it, which is very cool. I like that. The mica gold does just run in the water, and then wherever it settles is where it settles. That's what you end up with. So, yeah. Okay, there. I think I've got it kind of good where you can kind of see the gold. So that's cool. This was that Tecumite paper, which was horrible. This is the worst paper in the world. But, I mean, it came out okay. This one was bee paper, and I think the bee paper held the pigments better. I just think it did. So, but I'll draw on the back of these. This one is arches. I was going to say, I'll bet you $100 this is the arches. Look at the difference in the pigments. And these, I think, were both the Bria Reese pigments. But look at how much more vibrant they are on the arches paper. So there's a lesson right there. And that's that crap paper. So this, I think, was arches. Yeah, this is arches. I can tell because the inks just are more vibrant, and you can't really. Why do I have? This seems dark to me. I don't know why. Let me move my drink and bring the light closer. Are you all asleep, or did my chat just stop? And this was arches. Arches. This one I really like. It has the gold. Very cool. Very, very cool. And I don't know. Oh, this was the Master's Touch paper. And it wasn't horrible. So, yeah. So that was fun to play with. And I'm not sure what I'll end up doing with them. But I like the way this one turned out with the kind of Zentangle-y backgrounds. Kathy, I chose a bunch of different papers. B Master's Touch, like some dirt cheap paper that's garbage and I should just throw it away today. And then arches. And then I used a dropper and put water down, and just made sure it was a lot of water drops, and then connected them with a line, and then dropped ink into them to see how the ink would run and mix and just play together. And then some of them I put the mica gold in, and then I used a bunch of different kinds of ink. I used mostly Bria Reese. That worked the best. Watercolor did not work as well as the Bria Reese inks. Yeah, so it was just fun. I was just playing, mostly just testing out the paper. And this was something I'd seen on Instagram, how a woman was using drops of water to create plants and stuff like that. And I just thought, oh, that looks interesting. I'm going to try it. Now I have all these. Don't know what I'm going to do with them. But anyway, you see the end result after they were dried. I couldn't show them really that stream because there was so much water on the paper. I had to wait for the puddles to dry. Yeah, they were fun, Kathy. So, yeah, they were fun. Hi, Marty. And then the other thing before I start actually arting and creating something, is Dee Dee wanted to see the Pantone cards. And I'm going to actually do some Pantone cards today. Look at that glare. Woo, baby. The lights are right here. That's why I was surprised it was so dark. So let's look at Pantone cards. I don't look at these all that often. This was the first one I ever did, was the faded denim. And my rule for these is I try and keep at least 50% of the card color. And if you haven't seen Pantone cards, oh, I put them back. Let me see if I can get them real quick. Got too much stuff here. You can buy these Pantone cards. You get 100 postcards, and Pantone is a color matching system that printers use and painters use, and it's just a color matching system. And they give you 100 cards in all different colors, shades of every color of the rainbow. And so Dee Dee had bought them and showed them, and I thought, oh, though, I like that. So, yeah, so that's what I start with, is the Pantone cards. Whatever the color of the Pantone card is, I have to leave at least 50% of that and create something. So, yeah. So that's my rule. I wish I had saved this yellow card for lemon slices. I'm going to try and do some lemon slices today. So this one was actually the pink of the flower. And then I drew everything else away from it. Like the background, I did the background because the flower is the color of the card. And this was the tan, and I drew the lace on top of it. So the background is actually the color of the card. The sand dollars. Zebra, the zebra was, this one I completely failed at. This was the black card, and I did the white and the background around it. And this is just a texture card. Thanks, Kat. Minion. I see a minion and I think a CB. I don't know why. And this was the background color. I just did the Zentangle on top of it. This was green, and I just drew the water bubble on top of it. This one I never liked. The card color itself was this red, and I did the background, and I hated it. I hated it. And the background is the color. Devin made me do that. Devin made me do that. And this one, it's the green, and then the dark frog is what I drew on it. And this one is just ballet slippers. I don't like that one very much, but who cares? Shrek. It was the green of the card. This one was another dark background that I drew on top of. One of my favorites. I don't think this does it justice, but whatever. Butts on things. Yeah, I went through a butts on things. See, the butts on things on the cereal, butts on things on the worm. I didn't get this fabulous overnight. And this was another black card, or very close to black. So thanks, Bossy. This was an eggplant. And actually, I was thinking about this last night, and I thought, what did I do with the background of that eggplant? I could not think of it. So that's what I did with the background of it. And this was a Halloween one, obviously. That would have made great orange slices. A little freezing gnome. And that's one of the monsters that you can draw with numbers, I think. Care Bear. Some of the cards are kind of hard to figure out something that will go on top of them. I thought the card said stinking purple. Striking purple. Stinking purple. And there's a Pink Panther for you. And I just did the background on that one. Footsteps in the sand. Cherries. I did good on that. I did that one on stream. But some of my favorites are actually the tatting. I really like drawing that. And this one is the yellow background. I just drew the alien on top of it. I think I did really good with the alien eyes. And I should get out her books again. This was out of a book by Helen Elliston. And I like her books, and I should get them out and work out of them again. Let's see. Pine cone. Pickles. You know what, you guys? I killed this plant. So I'm glad I have a drawing of it, because I killed the plant. I will. And then piggy bank. I actually have that piggy bank in white. That might have been out of a Helen Elliston book as well. And this was out of a Helen Elliston book. And I drew this with one of the neighbor kids. Nice butt. What the butt? I like big butts and I cannot lie. And that's all except for, this was just some inks that I blew. I didn't put them in water, and then just circle art. All right, let me pull out one of the tatting ones for you. Bossy butt. I think the first one I did was better than the second. I think this one of the two is better. It's a little bit bigger. You can kind of see. Let me see if I can get color and everything. Does that help, Bossy? Let me hold up the other one. Maybe you can see it. But I like doing the tatting. That's fun. Kind of challenging because it's not something you normally draw, right? Thanks, Terry Brett. Oh, I've got it. Hang on. I'll just take the whole page out. I didn't know I stuck those down. Maybe that one you can see better. Focus, you freak. Come on. Let me see at what point it wants to focus. Maybe there. I remember I did this one sitting on the couch. I know why I stick them down, because otherwise they do this. I wonder what I stuck them down with. Something that doesn't want to come up very easy. Oh well, we'll worry about that a whole nother day. So yeah, that's the Pantone cards. So we're going to do some today. And I picked out 3, and I hope this, I looked up some images on my Fire tablet, and this thing frustrates the hell out of me. Oh, good. It came right back up. I'm going to do either, where did I put them? I'm either going to do lemon slices, strawberries, or a donut. So whichever one you want to see, I have reference art for all of them. Thanks, Rainbow. So whichever one you guys would rather see. I did do quick sketches. The strawberry, I really wrecked this card, but I think I can save it. The donut, okay, let's work on a donut. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the background of the donuts. I do like donuts. I like donut holes. Everybody wants donuts. Let's do donuts. I like donut holes, and I like those little lemon donuts, the Tasty Cake lemon donuts. I haven't been able to get them for months and months and months. So, yeah. So my life has pretty much been sucky. And then I ordered some donut holes from Walmart on my pickup order. And I got a notice from Walmart that one of my items wasn't available. And I was just like, oh, well, I don't care. Because I figured it was probably something stupid like a can of baked beans or something. It was my donut holes. Are you kidding me? And I like to let them get stale and then dunk them in my coffee with a fork. That's so good. All right, I need some colors here. Now, I'm not going to need pink, obviously, because that's the color of the card. So let me pick out some grays. And the gray, my favorite grays might be in my, yeah, I think they're in the other place. But I probably need, all right, let me take the ones out of here first. This is like a little pile of pencils that I use in my daily devotional coloring. You love donuts too. Everybody loves donuts. Is this donut going to have a butt? Oh, Bossy, you just had to ask that, didn't you? There's a brown. I need a tan, and I'll take the burnisher out because it's a little easier, I think, on these cards. The other brown. Okay, here's my two favorite grays. Those I definitely need. Let's see where my... And another really tricky thing is I never know how the colors are going to act on top of the color that is sitting there, you know? I should have picked out my colors earlier. Would have been easier, but here we are. I'll try that. And always need a white. And then just some, oh, you know what I could do the sprinkles with? You got that daily devotional book, Ruth. Don't you love it? I love it too. These are Prismacolor. Prismacolor is my favorite pencil. I do have a set of Polychromo and a set of Luminance. And even though I still go back to Prisma. Prisma are my everyday colored pencils that I love more than anything. So, but I think I might do the sprinkles with the Langwell pens. Perfect size. All right, let's do that. Because really, I'm going to be doing more. Could I show the devotional book? I will happily show the devotional book. Yeah, I'll just leave these sitting out because I might have to dig in and get some more. But every day, usually first thing in the morning, I have not done today's because I was moderating over at Dee Dee's, but either later on today or first thing tomorrow morning, I'll get this out. And it's just a book, and it gives you the days, not the days of the week, so it's not necessarily a book for 2026. It's just a book that has one devotional for every day of the year. And it's got these small little coloring areas in it. Very easy to do. You can do them in, I'm going to say, this one maybe might take an hour. But as a rule, they take less than an hour. And before I start, and I use the gold up in my gold Panda Fly pen. And I read it first. And then as I'm coloring, I'm thinking about what that is about, right? And I use my gold pen every day. So, and I got this at Hobby Lobby. They do have it. They have a real nice one at Amazon. Well, they might have both. But anyway, they have this exact same book in a much nicer format. It's got a spiral binding, and it's pricier. And I did go ahead and order it. And then when it came, Robert liked it, so I gave it to Robert. So, and you guys, he has been coloring in it. Now, I'm not going to show his coloring because you guys, well, you wouldn't laugh because you're not like that. But, yeah. So it's just a little daily devotional. I look forward to doing it every day. It's a good way for me to start the day and just, yeah. And it kind of gets my head in the right spot, you know, that when I want to be snarky and crappy to people who desperately deserve a slap across the face, I think back to growing your spirit, hope, forgiveness, wisdom, purpose, all that stuff. Because sometimes I forget. And then I ask for forgiveness and don't slap people or stab them either. So this book is preventing murder. That's what it's doing. It's preventing murder. So, yeah, I'm glad Robert likes the book. And I went down, I think it was yesterday, and he was just sitting there reading it. And I thought, well, nothing bad can come from that, right? It is a nice way to start the day, Laverne. I absolutely believe it. Hi, Kathleen. And I will take this little bit of hot pink one out. So, yeah. So, if I don't have something to kind of start my day like that, chances are I'll just sit around, drink coffee all day and talk to Jimmy, which isn't a bad way to spend your day either. All right, let's go ahead. And I used coal erase pencil for this initial drawing because I can't erase it. And I was using lead on the other ones, and then I remembered, oh, they don't erase that good. So, yeah. All right, let's just start here. And I do get pretty quiet when I start coloring and especially when I'm doing something like this, because I'm really thinking. I even gave Robert Vaughn my Tagal sharpener, you guys. So if you think I'm not a nice person who shares their cool stuff, I am. But I actually like these little crappy erasers. I actually do like them a little bit better. But I'm going to sharpen. I'm going to do the darker first. I broke the lead. No, yeah, I did. So other than that, haven't been up to very much. The weather here has been gorgeous, you guys. Absolutely gorgeous. So I'm very thankful for that because we had a weird spring. But now it's getting hot. I mean, today's 80. So I'm not in love with that. But, yeah, I'm happy that we've had some really, really nice, awesome weather. This reminds me almost of drawing. Rather than drawing what you're drawing the negative space. And that's what this is very much like. Painting it out of the background. And these Pantone cards, if you buy them, know going in that they're kind of a glossy surface when you get them, and you can't just color on them. You'd have to use acrylic paint or something. I covered them with a coat of matte medium. So, you know what I'm going to do? Yeah, so it would take the colored pencil, but just know that you will have to do something with the surface because they will not accept colored pencil readily. Makes it a little challenging, but not horrible. I mean, you can do it. It's almost just like coloring on top of acrylic paint. This is a little dark. Somebody's messaging me. And it does leave streaks. Let me show you guys if I can get it up close enough. See, you can kind of see the streaks from... I might check into a better camera. This one's annoying the hell out of me. Hi, Lynn. I have only done about 4 of your Pantone cards. Well, they're hard to work on unless you alter them, Bossy. Clear gesso would work, Marty, yes. Yeah, and you're going to get about the same texture as I got with the matte medium, because it's just an acrylic coating, but you will get the brush marks. If you use a foam brush, you might not get the brush marks. But it doesn't bother me, so I'm good. And I'll try and smush this in with the colorless blender. And I'm just coloring very, very lightly. I need to pull you guys down a little bit? And then I'll start adjusting the shadows and stuff like that. Oh, and then what? It was last week that I missed, wasn't it? I went over to my brother's, and then I remembered as I was driving over to my brother's, I didn't put a notice up anywhere that I wasn't streaming. Because I'm a dumbass. I can't believe I announced it at Dee Dee's, and I guess I figured, well, everybody who comes to my stream is going to be at Dee Dee's, so I don't have to put it anywhere else. I can't believe that I didn't put a notice up anywhere. But yeah, but we had a good time over at my brother's. He made us really good hamburgers and hot dogs out on the grill. We ate like pigs, and the kids were fun. So yeah, it was a good Memorial Day. I think it would if it's not too gritty. Yeah, it depends on, yeah. Gessos can be kind of funny because they are gritty. But that's what you're actually wanting is some grit to get the surface so that you can work on top of it. So not a horrible thing, but yeah. Let me see that colorless blender. When you're using your colorless blender, remember to write it off on something that's kind of like the white one. It'll hang on to that color. And I only use the colorless blender to kind of push the color down into the marks left by the paintbrush. Just makes it a little more challenging. Who cares? actually want that darker. You know what? This other pink would be better, I think. I have like 3 pinks in here. I think this one will be better. Yeah, I like that better. Light's coming from this direction. Let me see if I can find that cream pencil. Hi, Dorothy. Congrats on your win today at Dee Dee's. Now, the next thing I want to see is those hunky guys colored and posted on Instagram, or you can send me a message, whichever you prefer. Okay, Dorothy? How about that? Because you got some hunky men. Uh-oh. I lost my reference. There we go. Yeah, this is better. I think it was Anne, did collage on her Pantone cards. So you don't necessarily have to color them. Do what you enjoy doing. This pencil's working great on this card. I wanted to lighten up that brown a little. Smoothing it out, very nice. I try not to brush with my hands. Okay, deal, Dorothy. Looks like a broken set of dentures. What, this? Looks like a broken set of dentures? Girl, are you on drugs again? And Lard collaged all of her cards. Very cool. Okay. Yeah, Dee Dee collaged on some of hers. I think she showed them this morning. So yeah, you can do lots of different things with it. And I am looking at the reference art. When you get your highlights on there, I think that's when things start really popping. It's not what you think, huh? When you're painting it out of the background, it comes out way different. Or you approach it way different. I'm just very, very lightly trying to give it some dimension here. I gotta, oh. Try not to make mistakes. No, those shadows, I think I got too dark, but let me see if I can lighten them. Oh, maybe. Yeah, that's a little better. Better. And all I'm doing with this is just softening that fry line in the middle. Make it not quite so noticeable. Pretty much got its dimension now. I think I'll give it, what the heck? I have to decide what I want to do because I like to leave at least 50% of the card that pink. So I have to decide what I want to do to ground it on something. And I can put it, the reference is shown on a wooden table. I'm not sure if I want to do that. but I will ground it on something. Yeah. Maybe just put white highlights on the back. Yeah, well, there'll be little sprinkles sitting on top there, Bossy. So, just adding some marks in the donut because they're not completely smooth. They're pretty smooth, but I forgot to give this a little bit. And I'm not following the reference completely for this part of it because all I'm really doing now is just adding a little bit of texture to the dough. And you all might not even be able to see that. Yeah, there'll be sprinkles, and I'm going to do them with the Langau pens, which I've not used the Langau pens on the Pantone cards because I didn't have them. I'm doing this side just slightly darker because the sun is hitting from over there, or the light, whatever it is. Okay, that's looking better. Looks yummy. All right, let's strike. Because the way this picture is taken, you would, if I decide on a table, it wouldn't be like a horizontal line. It's just like a endless, and then it just fades out to nothing. And I'm wondering if I want to do that I could do a, oh, what the heck? Where did it go? And I'm not worried about this part of it, what I'm doing to this part of it right now. Because there's going to be sprinkles out in front of it as well. So, but I don't want to color too much of the card. So, and now I lost my reference. All right. I did, you guys know I did do a swatch card of all the Langau pens. So I have to pick out some cool colors for the sprinklers. 149. Because the lids are not even closely reflective of. That one wouldn't be bad. And then I need the dark pink, which I love. This dark pink is my favorite. And I need a bright yellow. The yellows are also very, very deceiving. 135. That would probably stick out like a sore thumb. And then there's white, which I'll use Panda Fly for the white. Look at, I've almost used up my first whole Panda Fly. What other colors they have? Pink, blue, yellow, white. Then they have some long ones and some short ones. Yeah, these are pretty simple sprinkles. They just got these 4 colors. Let's start with those. If they're not enough, we'll just add more of whatever we want. There's a piece of paper. I might have to put, oh, I'm not sure this is wanting to write. Oh, I might have to get out acrylic pen, the acrylic paint pens. That's not wanting to write on this. That's really odd. Yeah, that's not wanting to write at all. Maybe a little bit. I just need to get juiced up. That's what it was. And the sprinkles that are down in the shadow, I'll go ahead and shadow those up as well. One thing I like about these Lango pens and their ink, they dry really quickly. So I don't worry so much about smudging them. Stick some putty in the end and it will flow more if you want. Yeah, I saw that video. I've not had a bit of trouble with these Langau. Not a bit. Now the old white pens that I used to have, oh, those were to me just a constant freaking headache. I mean, like, I'm not even kidding you. These Langau I've not had any trouble with, but I have to say I've used them primarily on decent paper. You did try it and it worked well? Yeah, so I think they just need to get juiced up. Like that light blue I probably hadn't used in forever. So my bad. Actually, acrylic paint pen would work easier, I think, because I could just dot, 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 I don't want them to look real uniform. I got to be careful of getting my hand in it. Nothing wrong with a sprinkled donut. Am I the only one who doesn't like the taste of sprinkles? They look nice, but nah. I agree, Brenda. I could live without sprinkles. I'd rather have glazed donuts. Now I have to see how well this yellow shows up. It's showing up pretty good. I'll go with this. Get it juiced up a little bit. But yeah, I would highly recommend these pens, you guys. These Langau pens, I've not been the least bit disappointed with. I've not had one that hasn't written when I wanted it to. They always come around. You might have to work with them a little bit, but they always come around. And believe me, I have bought so many pens throughout my life and been disappointed so many times. There's very few pens that I would just say, if you want a nice opaque acrylic gel pen, even if they're pricey, you won't be sorry, I don't think. But depending on what you do too. I mean, I draw and color in the Beast a lot, so I'm always using pens. I've always been a pen freak. When I was a teenager and I babysit, first thing I'd do is, we had a drugstore nearby called Yarbrough's. I would run my butt over to Yarbrough's in their school supply section and pick out. Do you guys remember Lindy pens? I've mentioned them before because I loved Lindy's pens. They came in lots of different colors, and they were just awesome. Just awesome. You flick the sprinkles off. Okay, see, everybody is saying, I don't like sprinkles either. Yeah, I think they're just mostly for looks. Just, yeah. Now, I'd rather have just a glazed donut. Or old-fashioned. I like old-fashioned donuts with nothing on them. So you can just rip them apart and dunk them in your coffee. I'm afraid these are starting to look too uniform, and I don't want them to look uniform. It is looking like a donut, though, isn't it? The squatty little fatso donut. Well, now I'm glad to know that the Langau and the gel pens will ride on top of the matte medium. I hadn't even thought about that when I was thinking I would use them. But yeah. So another reason to love them. I love old-fashioned donuts. Those are my favorite. My grandmother used to, my Norwegian grandmother. I had a German grandmother and a Norwegian grandmother that lived in the same town. And my Norwegian grandmother was just the nicest, sweetest woman ever. And then my German grandmother was a little bit more stern and not as huggy and lovey. And when we'd go visit, they used 4-digit phone numbers. So I would be at my German grandmother's house, and I would call down to my Norwegian grandmother's house with 4 digits. I don't remember the 4 digits, but yeah, it was only 4 digits, which I lived in Denver, and we had 7-digit numbers, and I just couldn't believe that you could call somebody with 4 numbers. Anyway, and she'd say, "You need to come on down. I'm making donuts." And I could walk by myself because it was a safe little town then. And I'm sure it probably still is, but I could walk down to my other grandmother's house, and she would be making the donuts. And it reminds me of that commercial, going in and making the donuts. She's making the donuts. And then I would come home later on, and she always sent me home with a baggie, like a plastic bag of donut holes. Ah, she really was the nicest woman ever. All right. And you don't really see, okay, you don't really see the shading on the sprinkles, and they have a lot more sprinkles than I have, but I'm not going to go to the trouble to put shadows under all the sprinkles, but yeah. I think I'd like to. And this one, I just noticed, has a white sprinkle sitting right there on the end. We'll put a blue one there too. Yep, that's been a lot of years ago. And I'll tell you, skeletons in the closet. My German grandmother, how do I say, she was a complete snob. That's the only way you could kind of describe her. And the Germans in their little town did not like the Norwegians at all. Yeah, did not like. I don't know what I want to do with the background, you guys. I'd kind of like to just let it fade off, but anyway, the Germans did not like the Norwegians. I mean, just generally in the whole vicinity, the whole area. The Norwegians, the Germans said the Norwegians were a bunch of deadbeats, did not like them. So when my mother got mixed up with this no good Norwegian, my grandmother was not happy at all. And that's how my family ended up living in Denver, because when my mother was pregnant, when they announced that they were going to get married, my grandmother said, "Not in this town, you're not." And so they left the small town in Iowa they were from and went to Denver, because my grandmother was, honest to God, they were just that way. And so, of course, we lived out in Denver and got to see them very irregularly. And but then years later, of course, both of my grandmothers ended up being widows, and so we would travel to see them. And my German grandmother had to put up with my Norwegian grandmother to keep peace in the family. And so my dad would go pick up my grandmother. And yeah, it's funny how things work out. You know, that my snooty German grandmother, and I loved her, um, but she ultimately ended up having to admit that my Norwegian grandmother was really a very fine woman and loved us as much as maybe she did. Of course, these people are long dead, you know. But yeah, it was, but that was throughout society. I mean, the Germans and the Norwegians just did not get along. That was just the way it was. Okay, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with the background of this, so I'm gonna think about that. Let's go ahead and do another one. What I do with the other cards. Okay, I'll just put all these pencils right in there, and I might use some more of them on this one. I don't know. But yeah, you'd think that the old people could get together. Ultimately, they did. But my German grandmother, she didn't like anybody. And then when my mom, of course, my mom and dad ended up divorced, and my mom ended up with a Native American. Now, you'd never know that he was Native American, but for my German grandmother, unbelievably unacceptable. She was just a snob. Okay, so there's the donut. I think it looks pretty good. I'm okay with it. I've got to figure out what to do with the background to make the donut really, really pop. And I haven't decided yet. Remember the Dunkin' Donuts times to make the donuts? Yeah, said their donuts were made fresh twice a day. The one in town gets frozen donuts. They thaw and then put in a warmer. Really, Brenda? See, you know all the inside smut. I didn't know that. No, my grandmother absolutely made them from scratch. And then she'd send home donut holes. I don't want that. I want images. Yeah, no, my grandmother she was a little bit snobby. And well, now she married a guy whose family incredibly hardworking, but they were Jewish, and they had 3 sons. One of them was my grandfather, and he was a retailer, and they owned him and his partner did a line of dry goods stores, you know, where they would carry material, grain, sewing implements, just, I don't know, look up dry goods and you'll see. But they had multiple dry goods stores throughout Iowa. And he worked hard. I mean, I will say my grandfather had to work incredibly hard. And of course, they made a lot of money. The Norwegians were typically farmers, had large families. And my grandmother had only my mother. One child rule. But yeah, she was a snob. And then my grandfather, who had the dry goods stores, he died at a very young age. And so she ended up a widow earlier than my other grandmother. So, yeah, I'm going to try and erase some of these graphite lines. They're not going to come up, so I'm going to have to disguise them. But usually they should cover pretty good. We'll just see. It'll either work or it won't. And the cool thing about my world is I own a trash can. My grandmothers were total opposites. One was an absolute snob. It was. See, Terry, that you're describing kind of what mine were like. My grandmother Norwegian grandmother was just so affectionate, and um, I'm going to have to emphasize the edges of these. Yeah, she was affectionate, and you knew she just loved you. And she laughed. Oh my gosh, she laughed. She had the best laugh, and everything was funny. And um, my German grandmother did not laugh that much. Things in her world were not that funny. And the fact that my mother had 7 kids, I think, was an absolute, complete embarrassment to her. Only the low-class people had large families and lived like cavemen, which is what we did. We were all unruly. Our house was a freaking monkey cage. Um, I thought we were absolutely poor. Turns out we weren't as bad off as I thought, but I thought we were poor my whole life. My mom and dad just didn't spend money stupidly. They spent it on vacations and stuff like that for us. But yeah, and if you'd have met my Norwegian grandmother, she could have cared less about any of it. Yeah, yeah, my grandmother was quite a snob. And then my other grandmother down here, now keep in mind, my mother and biological father divorced. And then my mother remarried, who I have always called my dad. If you hear me say my dad is the Native American that my mother married. And he raised her 5 kids from the deadbeat Norwegian. But I think, now, I could be so wrong, you guys, but I'll tell you what I think happened. I think my mom ended up, when they got to Denver, they had 5 kids. And my mom was not happy, obviously, or they wouldn't have been divorced. And I don't know what caused the divorce. I don't know anything about it. Mother never talked about it, and I don't think we ever asked. But anyway, she married my dad. He took care of us. And his parents accepted us as if we were their own. You would have never known that I was not their full-blown grandchild. And my grandmother, I'll call her Grandmother Elliott, was my absolute favorite person on this planet. I loved that woman so much. I remember one time leaving her house. We had a station wagon, and I was sitting on my mom's lap. That was before kids had to be in a car seat. I was sitting on my mother's lap when we were getting in the car to leave to drive back to Denver. And I was crying so hard. And I was leaning out the window trying to get back to my grandmother. I loved her so much. I mean, I'm not even kidding you. So yeah, and she was, of course, Native American. She was Cherokee. And she made, and if you talk to any of her grandchildren, whether it was me as a step grandchild or her real grandchildren, they would all tell you the same thing, that you were her favorite. When you were around her, you were her absolute favorite child on the planet. And she loved to shop. Oh, she loved to shop. And they owned, her husband, well, her first husband was Native American, but her second husband was not. And her second husband, Ralph Elliott, was, he owned a dry cleaners. And I might have to use white for this. This is not showing up like I expected. Anyway, he owned a dry cleaners and a furniture store in a small town. Believe it or not, 25 miles from where I live today. When I was a kid, Bonita, Oklahoma was, honest to God, my favorite place on earth, because that's where my grandmother lived. And I can drive by and see the house and see the shops anytime I want now. But every one of us would say we were her favorite child, that she just loved us. So it's funny how things turn out. That and their ethnicity, I'm not sure, other than the German. The German grandmother was your typical German. I mean, and I don't know if there's any Germans in chat. Doesn't matter. But the stereotypical German, that was my grandmother. Very judgmental. And everything had to be just her way. Got it? But we were, I mean, as a rule, as a family, we were incredibly fortunate. I mean, we had people around us all over the place that loved us. We were always well cared for, no matter where we went or who we were with. So if you think I'm bashing anybody, I'm not. Some people are just warmer and cozier than other people. And my German grandmother was just not a warm, cozy woman. Just saying. But she took care of us when Mom and my biological dad divorced. And I didn't find all this out later. But, what I was going to say is I have a theory, and I don't know if it's real or not. But I think my grandmother, she held that bias against the Norwegians all through the years. Never, ever got over it. I mean, it was ingrained in her. And I think when my mother said she wanted to get divorced, I think my grandmother paid Lyle to leave. Lyle is my biological dad. I think she paid him to leave. I really do. Because when he left, he went to Oregon. He had 5 kids, mind you. He didn't stay in Denver. He went to Oregon. And I think she paid him to leave. And then she took care of us financially. Until Mom met and married Jack, my dad. Funny history. You want to hear something even funnier? I'll tell you the whole story. I ended up doing my genealogy, and that's probably why I bring up their ethnicity, is I spent years and years doing my genealogy. The Norwegian genealogy was tons of fun. I haven't done that much on the German end because there wasn't, at the time I was doing it, there just wasn't that much available. But what was I going to say? Can't remember. But I think that's why I bring up the ethnicity, is because I broke them up by, okay, I got to go to the German databases, got to go to, and I did do the Indian with my cousin. An Indian genealogy is very, very interesting. Not at all like every other database. Unfortunately, I live in Oklahoma, so a lot of that stuff is available at all of the libraries. I can't remember what I was going to say. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Okay, all my life, I obviously knew that I was not Jack's daughter, that I had a real dad out in the world, but I had never met him. And of course, the older kids in my family knew him. I mean, my oldest brother was 11 or 12 when he left. But I had never met him. When I got into the genealogy, I contacted him to get information about the family, but I still never met him. And oddly enough, him and my mom died. I don't like that smudge on there. Within just months of each other, which was really weird. Got some smudgies here I don't like. Starting to look like lemon slices, isn't it? Families are funny things, you know? But the nice thing about my family is even though we had step parents and step grandparents and everything, we never ever have called each other stepchild, step parent, step grandparent. We just never ever have done that. And oddly enough, my biological dad, who went to Oregon, met and married a German woman. Believe it or not, Norwegian meeting up with a German woman. And she had 2 daughters from a previous marriage, and he ended up raising her kids. And other than that, you know everything I know about him. I knew his mother far better than I knew him. And I didn't complete that circle over there. So, yeah. Crazy world, crazy world. All right. Now I'm going to have to go ahead, Missy, get on it. From your mom's side, you almost Welsh, Irish, Scottish, a little Russian, Comanche tossed in. From dad's side, got Dutch, Irish, and Cherokee. Yeah, see, it's interesting. I'm 1/2 Norwegian, 1/2 or 1/4 German, and 1/4 English. I'm going to want to use a ruler, and I'm just not going to let myself. But it was fun learning the genealogy because people had written so many interesting books about like the journey from Norway to America, you know, who decided to go and why, and then what life was like when they actually got here. And they had to bust their butts. I'm not kidding. These people had to work hard, and they were given land grants. So they ended up with 160 acres, but it was uncleared, and there were savages out there wanting to kill them. So the stories are really good. I wish I could remember the name of that one book that I read about settling in the United States from Norway. And I'm sure it was, well, I don't know. The Norwegians were all farmers. So they came to farm the land. The English people were storekeepers, and my Jewish family, they had 3 sons. My grandfather was a retailer, opened up retail stores in Iowa. His brother was a doctor who had a cabin out in the Colorado Rockies where we lived. And the other brother was a jeweler who moved to New York and never left. So, yeah. So you had every kind of person. But my grandmother wanted, yeah, to be part of the rich part of the family. Okay, so you had a family of 8, Missy. That's good. I come from a big family. Well, 7. That's not as big as it could be, I guess. Big families are good. And times have changed so much, you know. That's one thing I would say. The Norwegian kids were educated at the church. I mean, because that's the way they did it in Norway. They had state religion, and so the churches educated the children. And my oldest half brother was a year older than my mother was. Wow, that's crazy. I have another weirder story too. That was weird. But then I really get people when I tell them my dad was a year older than your grandma was. Oh, Missy, that's crazy. But it happens, you know? Hmm. Cray, cray. I'm just making up these divisions, you guys, so I hope they look somewhat realistic. I don't know. But to me, it's starting to look like a pile of lemon slices. Does it look that way to you guys? That's not too weird. My dad remarried a woman a year older than me. Mom remarried a man 4 years older than me. Stepsister who was born in October 80 and a half sister. Oh my gosh. Yeah, family stories are funny things, aren't they? I understand the older marriage thing because I've done it twice. No, I haven't married twice. I've hung out with men older than me twice. All right, come on, come on, come on. I'm trying to get this reference picture to come up. This crazy thing. If you buy a a fire little tablet, a fire tablet, every time it closes down when it comes back up, it goes to Amazon. That pisses me off. I probably should have known that when I bought it, but oh well, here I am. You don't have to start your search again, but you have to maneuver around it, and that annoys me. All I want is a picture of lemon slices. Is that so much to ask? Oh, I didn't draw the one in here. All right, I'll just draw it now. What the heck? And actually, if I was being accurate, I would have these curl in a little bit. I don't know why I rush when I'm streaming. And I always look at family and how we were raised. Why none of us ended up in jail. So they must have done something right. And some of us, I'm probably sure, there was reason to send us to jail. And so I'm going to spend the rest of my days working very hard to stay out of jail. And the more I stay out of public, the likelier it is that that's going to happen. So by next week, I will have colored one of those snark pictures. I think I'm going to do the I hope this isn't too dark. We'll see. But honestly, on the edge of some of these, it's just a little darker around the edge. Okay, that'll work. That'll be fine. Barely putting down any color at all. Plus, I think by doing this, I'm making the lines probably stand out a little bit more. Friends of mine got divorced after many years and 2 children. He remarried and had another child that is younger than his grandchildren. Oh my gosh, CB. Crazy things happen. I don't know. I think, well, I suppose it depends on your age when you get started. But I thought this many years ago, back when Larry King did much the same thing, had a kid. I think he was like 70 when the kid was born. I don't think that's fair. I mean, I didn't know my dad, my biological father, but I think you should not deprive your kids. And that's essentially what you're doing when you're already so elderly. You don't have the energy. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too judgmental. I don't know. But I don't think 60-year-old men have any business having children. Just saying. That's just me. Just me being me. All right. Now the damn thing went away again. All right. I'm going to use that real light gray that I threw in here. And let's I don't want to get too carried away with this. Sometimes when I do one of these Pantone cards, I can't really tell if I like it or if it came out good until I sit on it for a couple days and go, okay, well, that came out okay. This one, I've definitely met the threshold of 50% of the card left. So that's good. Okay, I don't want to get too carried away with the shadows there. Oh, you guys are getting in some crazy conversation now. Yeah. I think it's less likely today, Terry, because we've become so global, you know? I think the likelihood of people accidentally reproducing with a sibling or a close relative is less likely to happen than it used to be when you used to have small towns and traveling was hard. I think some men have kids so they can have much younger women. Well, if they want much younger women, they need to get big wallets. I'm kidding, of course. But yeah, I don't know how much the white's going to show up. So let's just give it a go and see. I think the pencil will show up a little bit better than the ink. If that's not showing up, I won't spend the time to do it on camera. I'm not sure if I want to do the shadows with the darker yellow or the gray. In the photo, it almost looks like a gray. Let me just see on this one slice and see what I actually end up liking. Okay, yeah. That one you can start seeing the texture a little bit more, right? But what I can't decide is if I want, yeah, that white is showing up great. I want to add some little bit of gray here and there. Maybe I will end up doing both. Yeah, no seeds. The ones I'm looking at, believe it or not, do not have seeds. No seeds at all. I could add some. I mean, it wouldn't be that big a deal. You want me to add some seeds? Usually they're in toward the center. But yeah, there's no seeds in this picture that I'm looking at. Not a single seed. They have the center part, but not a seed to be found. Seedless. All right, now I'm just going to go crazy making texture. And this you just make up as you go because you could not ever recreate the actual photo. And all I'm really doing is trying to give the impression of lemon slices. White Prismacolor is the best pencil ever made, I swear to God. This thing is so useful. Bought a whole box of them. And I suppose if I could go darker with the other texture, but I think that is probably probably okay. Weather radio.
The National Weather Service has issued severe thunderstorm watch number 263, effective until 9 p.m. Central Daylight Time. This watch includes the following counties in Arkansas: Benton, Carroll, Crawford, Franklin, Logan, Madison, Sebastian, and Washington, and the following counties in Missouri: Berry and McDonald. Remember, a severe thunderstorm watch means the conditions are favorable for the development of severe weather, including large hail and damaging winds in and close to the watch area. While severe weather may not be imminent, persons should remain alert for rapidly changing weather conditions and listen for later statements and possible warnings. Stay tuned to NOAA Weather Radio, commercial radio and television outlets, or internet sources for the latest severe weather information.
All right, that's not us.
The National Weather Service has issued severe thunderstorm.
Not very far from us, but not us.
Effective until 9 p.m. Central Daylight Time. This watch includes the following counties in Arkansas: Benton, Carroll, Crawford, Franklin, Logan, Madison, Sebastian, and Washington, and the following counties.
Bentonville is headquarters of
Remember, a severe thunderstorm watch means the
Walmart headquarters. The town where Walmart headquarters is.
including large hail and damaging winds in and close to the watch area. While severe weather may not be imminent, persons should remain alert for rapidly changing weather conditions and listen for later statements and possible warnings. Stay tuned to NOAA Weather Radio, commercial radio and television outlets, or internet sources for the latest severe weather information. The current p.m. Central Daylight Time. At 2 p.m. at the Joplin Regional Airport, it was sunny. The temperature was 87,
87. Yikes.
60%. The wind was northwest at 9. The pressure was 30.00 inches and steady. In Springfield, it was sunny with a temperature of 85. The wind was northwest at 7. In Kansas City, it was mostly sunny with a temperature of 85. The wind was north at
I don't know why they're giving us Missouri weather.
It was mostly sunny with a temperature of 90. The wind was northeast at 14, gusting to 20. In Chinook, it was sunny with a temperature of 86. The wind was northeast at 9. Elsewhere around the region this hour, in Tulsa, it was mostly sunny with
Thanks,
a temperature
Brenda.
of 92. At Oklahoma City Rogers Airport, it was mostly sunny with a temperature of 94.
94 in Oklahoma City.
It was mostly sunny with a temperature of 92.
Yikes.
In Fayetteville, it was sunny with a temperature of 90. And in Fort Smith, it was sunny with a temperature of 92. Once again, around the area, skies ranged from sunny to mostly sunny, and temperatures were between 87 and 92 degrees. Here is the 9 a.m. climate summary for Grove, Oklahoma. The low temperature this morning was 69 degrees. No precipitation has been.
They normally don't go on this long, you guys. I'm sorry.
At 8:32 p.m. Sunrise tomorrow is at 6:02 a.m. Sunset tomorrow evening will be at 8:32 p.m.
Like, we don't need to know the sunset.
The forecast for the
Oh yeah, CB. Whatever temperature they're saying for Grove will always be about 10 degrees warmer or cooler than the air temperature they report. And then in the winter, not all winter, but at the beginning, it also, because the water holds the heat, we'll also have warmer temperatures in the winter and cooler in the summer. So, yep. The lake definitely helps. I'm liking this. I think this one's coming out pretty good. Is your mouth watering, you guys? To fill up with a bunch of spit. I wasn't sure about, because I thought this yellow was a little bit dark, but yeah, turns out I think it's okay. So that's a little dark for lemon slices, but whatever. We're just tricking our brains anyway. Oh, I forgot to put the shadow in the centers. That'll help a lot. I hope that little handheld vac works as good as I hope it will. Because the car needs a good vacuuming and the stairs definitely do. I'll tell you next week, and if I don't and you want to know, remind me. Because as soon as I'm done here, if the battery's charged up, I am going on a vacuum rampage. Well, I'll get Robert on a vacuum rampage. That's one thing he doesn't mind. He'll vacuum all day long. Move furniture. I don't like to move the furniture. Just vacuum around the edges, thank you. Got quiet in here. My tongue hanging out of my mouth. All right. They look like they have texture, huh? Let me get the centers. This damn pad ticks me off. Back to the shop, Amazon. That's all right. Get something to drink. Read chat. We have a spring back in the hollow. There's a hole in the ground about 4. That's crazy, Brenda. All right, come on. Crazy thing, come on. A spring back in the holler. All right, there we go. All right. I think I'm going to do this. I'll start it with this. I can always darken it if I want. I don't want it too dark. All right, I think that'll be fine. All right, what have I forgotten? You guys got to tell me. I think that one will be okay. And the donut, I still have to figure out the background. I just don't know what to do about the background to the donut. What do you guys suggest? There's the donut with pink icing. See you, Dee Dee. Using the color closest to them that you have. Okay. Expound on that, Belinda, because I'm not. You're saying leave the pink background as is. Okay, if I do that, then I'm going to. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Thanks, Bossy. Thanks, Terry. I don't know. I'll see. I'll see. I like the lemon better than the donut. But I think the donut in my mind just feels unfinished. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. Seeds in the lemon. Um, there were no seeds in the lemon. They're sterile. No seeds. I'm going to leave these out until I decide whether or not I have enough sprinkles. Yeah, because I just don't know. Yeah, I think this was darker. I don't know. You were remarking about the yellow color of the lemon. Maybe just a striped background. Well, I could do that. CB, make it look like wallpaper or something. Let's just try a little experiment here. Just make it real simple. Let's see, I have a house full of paper and I never have a piece of paper when I want it. It's so annoying. I don't even know what this is. Why do I have this? Anyway. Oh, it's washi sticker paper. That's what it is. And that's sticker paper too. Why do I never have a piece of damn paper around here? I annoy myself so bad, I can't even believe it. I just had a piece of paper here a little while ago. I need to put some over here. All right, here, I have the back of an envelope. How about that? Thanks, Dorothy. Use the darker pink. And to make it even, not do anything real crazy. Can you guys see that, or did I do it too light? Just like some real subtle wallpaper in the pink, but otherwise leave it pink. Lemon curd donuts, my absolute favorite. Hi, Judy. Ruler. No, you're supposed to sing. What's the song I told you guys to sing? Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. See, that's what I'm thinking. It's just doing some real subtle, and I'll make the dots better than that. I think I might end up doing that. Yeah. All right. Let's do it. What the hell? All right. And I don't necessarily care if it's centered or anything, so we'll just do this. And I'll do it real light, so it's just real subtle, but just something back there. And this will satisfy my brain that it doesn't feel unfinished now. These clear rulers with the lines on them are absolutely the best thing ever flipping made. You can use the edge of the card for a straight edge. It's just, whoever thought of this, they ought to have gotten some sort of award or a medal or money or something. Is that better? Now, if I was smart, I'd get the ruler out to space these circles a little better, but we're not going to worry about it. We're going to eyeball it and live with it because it's going to go in that portfolio only to be seen when Dee Dee hassles me about it. Yeah, this will satisfy my brain. My messed up brain, I guess I should say. All right, let's date it. If this pen will write, it's not wanting to write. Wonder if this one will write. 6-1. Can you believe it's almost half the year is gone? Oh, I can't even believe it. All right, take our little notes off it. Try not to smudge the initials. And say, that's all, folks. Thanks, Judy. Yep. They're pretty good. They're okay. I can live with them. And I'm going to go on to something else, probably fixing some food, right? You love your ruler too. Who doesn't? On the Zen Doodles, graphic art bits and doodles I did for 100 days. I had to go back and do something in the background to keep looking like they were floating. Yeah, it's always kind of good to ground something. Thank you, Belinda. You done good today? Thanks, CB. All right, you guys, go out in the world, be kind, be thankful, and yeah, I know your time is valuable, and I really appreciate you spending it with me, and we'll catch y'all later. Love you, bye.